Yo, what up guys? This is your boy Legendary here, and today people we're going to be finally doing another villain deck. Today we're going to be doing Aporia's deck. I'm really excited to show off this deck. For the most part, this deck is mostly anime exclusive, like literally every single card is anime only. So if you guys want to build Aporia's deck the way it's supposed to be built from the show, go in the description in my video down below and download all of Aporia's cards. All of them are made because I have them all here, and they're all in PDF files. So all you have to do is open them and print them out, and then you can cut them up and, you know, build the deck yourself. But this deck is completely built with just the anime cards only. I even took the names from the original anime and whatnot. But yeah, super excited to show this deck. This deck is really cool and interesting, and I can't wait to go into it. Also, because this is all only anime cards, I'm not gonna be reading through every single card. I know I do sometimes anyway, but in this particular case, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait until the end, and at the very end, I'll say the main combo and strategy of the deck, a little bit of its strengths and weaknesses, and that's it. But I'm not going to read through everything because there's just too... Literally, the whole deck is anime cards. I'll be here for like 40 minutes just reading through every card, and it's just not worth it. So, but yeah, anyway, let's just get started. We're going to start with the Meklord Emperors. We're going to start with Meklord Emperor Granel. With its tag force effect and not its TCG effect. I used only the tag force effects for these because they had better effects and more original to how it is in the anime, so I wanted to use that. So this is a Machine Emperor Granel, Granel Top, we got Granel Carrier, we got Granel Attack, we got Granel Guard, and we got Granel Core. So yeah, so the 5 pieces right there. And then the core is used to summon them. So you destroy the core by a card effect to summon all 5 pieces straight from the hand, deck, or graveyard. So you don't have to worry about milling or anything like that. You could send all the pieces to the grave. It doesn't really matter because once you pop the core, special summons all of them from hand, deck, or grave. Yeah, so that's Granel right there. Put him right in the center. And then we got Machine Emperor Wisel Infinity with its tag force effect again. And then we got Wisel Top. We got Wisel Attack, we got Wisel Carrier, and we got Wisel Guard. So yeah, that's the 5 pieces to summon Wisel. Oh yeah, and Wisel Core, of course. So you pop the core to special summon the 5 pieces of Wisel. And then we got Machine Emperor Skiel Infinity, Skiel Top, Skiel Carrier, Skiel Attack, and Skiel Guard, and then the Sky Core. So you pop the core to summon the 5 pieces. You guys get the drill by now, but just in case. Alright. So yeah, those are the 3 the 3 Machine Emperors. That's the Japanese name. They're called Meklords in the TCG and OCG now. But they're Machine Emperors in the anime. That's what they're technically called. Then we have the Machine Imperial Soldier monsters. You guys might recognize these cards. They're called Meklord Soldiers, but the real name is Machine Imperial Soldier monsters, and they're kind of the mini versions of those 3, obviously. So pretty decent, okay cards. They could be better, but they're not that bad. They're right there. And then for the final 2 monsters, we have the 2 big boss monsters of Aporia. We have Machine Imperial God Mechanical Infinity and Machine Imperial God Dragon Asterisk. So yeah, those are the Japanese names of these cards, and these are the anime effects. I'm not going to read them like I said, but they have different effects in the anime obviously than the TCG, but they're pretty good, and it works better with the anime version of this deck than with the new changed TCG versions of them. But yeah, I like this, pretty cool. Alright, next up we're going to be doing the spell cards. So now for the spell cards, we have Aurora Draw, we have a Boon of the Machine Emperor, the anime effect, which works with specifically the Machine Imperial monsters. I'll get to that at the end and explain the difference between the different Meklord monsters. At the end I'll explain. Then we have Future Destruction, Chaos Blast, and then 3 Chaos Bloom. These cards are your pop cards. You pop the cores to special summon the 5 pieces. Then that's pretty much it for spell cards. There's not really a lot. And then we have 2 Twin Vortexes. You could add a 3rd copy too. I have a 3rd copy, but I wanted to add some other cards too. So Twin Vortex, this is cool because it pops one of your cards and then pops an opponent's card. So then you trigger your core and pop something, so it's good. We got Double Tribute, more cards that pop your cards. High Rate Draw also pops your cards. Explosive Blast does the same thing, pops your cards and gains some sort of plus. So he has a lot of spells and traps that specifically pop his own monsters, mainly so that way you could always have cards to pop the cores. And then we got Labyrinth of Klein, pretty good card, changes up attack and defense. We got Convert Ghost, we got Infinite Feast, we have Infinity Wall, and we have Machine Imperial Creation. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm sorry if I'm not reading through everything, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot, that's for sure, but I'll explain everything in the end. And then for the side deck, there's no extra deck, obviously, because it's a synchro killing deck, and pretty much everyone only uses synchros. There was only 2 fusion used in 5Ds, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So he has no extra deck, so that kind of saves some time to get into the really huge side deck. So the majority of the side deck, well, I'm going to show you guys these cards. These are the real cards that exist, that came out as support for the Mech Lords. I'll get into their effects and how, specifically the names that these support, and I'll explain that later. I'm sorry if I'm not explaining it well now, but there's these, and I think I'm missing maybe 1 or 2 other cards. I'll explain these at the end though, but the rest are just going to be anime only, because his whole deck is pretty much anime only. We got Wisel Top 3, we got Wisel Attack 3, we got Wisel Guard 3. These are the upgraded versions of Wisel Attack, Top, and Guard. You basically tribute the original version to special summon this version. Then we got Wisel Guard 3, we got Wisel Attack 3, we got Wisel Top 5, sorry, that's Granel Top 5, Granel Attack 3, and Granel Guard 3. And then we have Absurd Stealer, some other monster that he used that cuts monsters' attack in half that are level 4 or lower. We got Skiel Carrier 5, we got Skiel Attack 3, and we got Skiel Attack 5. So yeah, those are all the upgraded little forms of the Skiel, Wisel, and Granel monsters. So yeah, I'll just put that over there. And then the only other spell card that's left was Lock on Laser. It just does like 200 burn damage each time a monster is summoned, I think. So no, each time your opponent sets a spell trap card on the field. So it's like very low burn damage. I didn't feel it was worth adding into the main deck. You could add it if you want. Then we have the 3rd copy of Twin Vortex. We have a Banishing Climb. We have Infinity Force. There's card effects here that protect them from being destroyed by card effects or other stuff like that. Not a lot of stuff like that, but Infinity Guard Formation. We have Echo Mirror. We have Battle Return. There's some cards that specifically in the effect, if it will zoom in, say right there you can target 1 Infinity monster, which is basically Machine Imperial God Mechanical Infinity, or the 3 Meklord, or the 3 Machine Emperor monsters that have Infinity, the Infinity symbol in their name. So this only works with those monsters that have the Infinity, and they're already written in the card, so you don't have to worry about that, because they took the Infinity symbol out of the TCG ones, but I added them in, used their original Japanese names. We got Exes Summon, we got Trap Recycle, we got Cursed Synchro, we have Level Cannon, we have Power Gravity, we have so many anime cards, wow. Infinite Prison, we have Spark Breaker, we have Divergence, Infinity Barrage, Attack Cannon, Wise A3, which special summons Wisel Attack 3, we got Wise G3, we got Wise T3, and then we got Sky A3. So yeah, that's pretty much the traps right there. It's just a lot of trap cards. He used so many trap cards, which is good because it gives you a lot of options. But wow, so many traps. So those are all the anime cards right there and the real cards. Yeah, I'm not gonna read through all that, but you guys get the gist. So real quick, I'm gonna explain. First, I'll start off by explaining the difference between the different Mech Lord monsters or Machine Emperor. So in the Mech Lord archetype, the original Japanese names, there's Machine Emperors, which are the Wisel, which are these 3 cards: Granel, Machine Emperor Granel, Machine Emperor Wisel, and then you have Machine Emperor Skiel. So these are the Machine Emperors. In the TCG, they're all just called Mech Lords, and I don't know if there's a difference or not, but whatever. But and then we have the Machine Imperial monsters. So both of these cards are called Machine Imperial monsters. So those are Machine Imperials. And then these cards right here, I'm using their original Japanese names. These are called Machine Imperial Soldier monsters. So they're both, they're also treated as Machine Imperial monsters. They're Machine Imperial monsters just like these two, but they're not Machine Emperor monsters like these. So card effects that specifically state Machine Emperor only works on these, and then card effects that specifically say Machine Imperial monsters work on all 5 of these. But if a card effect says Machine Imperial Soldier, then it only works on these 3. So just to look at the real life effects of these cards that came out as support for them, this card says once per turn you can special summon 1 Meklord Army monster, which means Machine Imperial Soldier monster. So one of these 3 only, not these, just these 3. From your hand you can special summon it. Then the Resolute Meklord Army, all attack position Meklord Army monsters, which are these 3, you control cannot be destroyed by battle and their effects are negated. And then we got Reboot. Shuffle 1 Meklord monster in the graveyard. So for here it doesn't say Meklord armies, it says Meklord, which means mechanical Imperial monsters. Those are the Meklord. The whole archetype is the Meklords, and these are all subcategories of the Meklords. It's very confusing, it's very annoying, it's not very 100% clear, but I did my research and this is what I was able to find out. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but yeah, so basically you could, the Mashiro, these 5 monsters right here work with this card, not these 3, just these 5 right here. And then the trap card, activate only when a face-up Meklord monster on the field is targeted for an attack. Special summon 1 Meklord Army monsters, these 3. Add it to your hand, then destroy the attack target. So these cards are pretty okay. I didn't add them in the main deck. There's just too many cards, and these cards are okay. They're not that amazing. I didn't feel like they were that worth adding, to be honest. A lot of the anime cards, in my opinion, are better to make the deck run because they work better with the anime version of the Meklords. So I didn't really add them that much. I might tech them in here and there, use them in a script, but other than that, that's what that is. So basically, like I said, the main core of the deck is to summon Sky Core, pop it to summon the Skiel. Put that over here on that side. Then you have Grand Core, you pop that to summon the 5 pieces of Granel. And then the same thing for Wise Core. You pop the core to summon the main 5 pieces. So yeah, that's basically the main strategy of the deck. You pop them, you summon them, you let them go to the graveyard, and then you have these guys as kind of... So this is kind of like your main strategy, summoning the Meklords. And then your secondary main strategy could be summoning these guys right here. You could summon this guy. I think you could tribute summon for it because its anime effect doesn't say anything about it needing to be special summoned with a specific card. But there is a trap card that specifically helps summon it out, which is this card over here, Mechanical Imperial Creation. You could banish one Wise Core, Grand Core, and Sky Core from your graveyard to special summon 1 copy of this guy over here from, I think it's from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Yeah, hand or deck, ignoring the summoning conditions. Then equip this card to it. This is the Attack Force effect, because in the Attack Force games, they use the TCG version of this, not the anime effect, so it has restrictions as to how to summon it. So this card more specifically works with the TCG version of it, but you could still use this card just generically to summon this card straight from the hand or the deck if you don't want to tribute summon for it. But yeah, so it's still pretty cool. What else? The anime effect of this card is if you control 3 or more face-up Machine Imperial monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. This card gains attack equal to the combined attack of all other attack position machine type monsters you control. So if you control not these 3, not those 3. So if you control these 3 monsters, well, these 4 monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. He gains the attack of all of these machine type monsters. So this would be 2,036 plus 4,000. That's 76 attacks. So this card would have 7,600 attack points if you manage to pull off this whole field right here, which is really incredible. Really incredible. Also, the way that the Machine Emperors work is if you destroy the main one, they all have all the pieces, all these pieces right here, the carriers, the attack, the top, all those pieces. If you destroy the main piece, which is the Infinity Core, if you destroy the middle part, it pops all the other cards. So in order to get rid of them, you got to get rid of this card, the middle part. And basically in the anime, what it is you summon all 5 of the pieces, and then the Infinity Core, the middle part, gains attack equals to the combined attack of all your Wisel, Granel, or skill pieces on the field. So the combine, and the same for his defense, the combined defense of all the Granel, Wisel, and skill monsters on the field. So that's how it works in the anime, and it's really cool. I like it. It's very unique. They kind of just made them into singular cards, which I guess I know why, but it's kind of lazy. I don't know. I felt like they could have done something more with them by doing it this way, but I get it. It is what it is. But yeah, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it in terms of explaining the deck. Yeah, just know the differences between the different monsters. These are Machine Emperors. These are all Machine Imperial monsters, and these are Machine Imperial Soldier monsters. So when you're reading the effects, just make sure you read it clearly. I fixed all the effects so that way you know which it's talking about and when. But in terms of these, I already explained it to you guys. This is for the Machine Imperial Soldiers. This is also for the Machine Imperial Soldiers. This is Shuffle 1 Meklord, which is 1 Machine Imperial monster, to add another Machine Imperial monster from your graveyard to your hand. And this works with all Machine Imperial monsters, and then select 1 Machine Imperial Soldier monster. So I know it can be kind of confusing because you gotta like hop back and forth between the two, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So each of the mini pieces, you know, kind of have, some of them have different effects. So the Carrier of Granel has an effect where once returned, if a monster you control will be destroyed by battle, it is not destroyed. So it provides some sort of protection. This card makes it so one of your monsters can attack twice. This card makes it so you could change the attack target to a different one of your pieces. So if your middle piece is attacked, you could select one of your other pieces to take the hit instead. So obviously Skiel's the weakest one, and then you got Wisel, which is the slightly stronger one, and Granel's supposed to be the strongest one, so they have better effects. But yeah, alright guys, well that's the deck profile. Very simple, very straightforward, no extra deck or anything like that. It's just mainly explaining how the deck works. You pop the cores to summon the main pieces, all 5 pieces. Once the middle part dies, they all die, and then you can summon another one onto the field. And then pop that one to summon the other ones, and then these guys kind of do their own thing. So you could either win with this strategy or win with this strategy, or you know, a little bit of both, whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This is Aporia's deck. I really like this deck. It's very unique. It's very fun. I've been very excited to build this deck for a very long time. He is one of my favorite villains. I do like him. I like how interesting it is that he's an embodiment of 3 different parts of Aporia's life as he was growing up, when he was a child, when he was a teenager, and when he was an old man. Just the 3 different times of his life when his life kind of fell apart. And then it's just cool. And then the Mech Lords are kind of representations of that. One thing before I go, this deck is stronger against Synchros, obviously, because they're Synchro killers. So the weakness with this deck is that it only works against Synchros. So this deck does still work. Like, you could still fight without fighting Synchros. Like, you could still fight perfectly fine, but it's stronger when facing a Synchro deck, because then you could steal their Synchro monsters, equip it to your Mech Lords, or to your Machine Emperor monsters, and then they gain attack equal to the machines, and then there's all these additional effects. So once you guys read everything yourself, you'll see what all the different things it can do. But basically that's what they do. They steal Synchros, they absorb them, and gain their strength, gain their attack power. And that's basically the whole gimmick behind the Machine Emperors and all the Machine Imperial monsters and all that stuff. So not so good against non-synchro decks. I kind of wish that they would change the effect so you target a special summon monster from your opponent's extra deck that's on the field and equip it to him. That way it works on synchros, fusions, and exceeds, and whatever came from the extra deck. That's what I would do to kind of fix them. Just make it any special summon monster that was special summoned from the extra deck. But this only works against synchro, so this works against all 5 Ds characters and whatever synchro characters came out from Arc 5 and whatever characters use synchro and brains. But yeah. Also, another thing real quick is this deck is good. I like this deck a lot. The only thing that would make this deck better that it desperately needs is ways to search out the cores. Unfortunately, the cores were never made in TCG, so there won't be any search cards for it. which really does suck because that's what holds this deck back. All this deck needs is ways to search the cores. If you can guarantee a core within your first turn, you're set because you have so many destruction cards to pop your own cores that you're guaranteed to get a Meklord, a Machine Emperor monster in your first turn no matter what. So that's really what this deck is lacking, searching the cores. Other than that, it's not that bad, and also just making them be able to equip any monster from the extra deck to the Meklords would be great too, but that's pretty much it. I really wish it had a search for the cores, but that's the only thing that's missing. Other than that, it's, I'd say, a B tier deck, maybe C+, I don't know, somewhere around the B, C+, B-, somewhere around there, because the main thing is you need to draw the core. If you don't have the core, it's kind of difficult for the deck to go off. But if you get lucky and get at least one of the cores, the deck can start going off right there, and then you can start doing your thing. This deck, I like this deck. This deck is good. It just needs better ways to search this. I cannot stress that more. It needs ways to search the cores. But that's pretty much it. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. God bless you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. More deck profiles to come soon. See you guys in the next video. God bless you guys. Gotcha!